Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another round of sound. This is the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown, 23 years and running. And this is a holiday, but we're not off because I know there's a lot of big topics out there that you guys are talking about, and that's what we're going to be doing here tonight, including the Phil Keuchel reported trade to Minnesota. We'll get into that. How about Joey Porter now sniping off against Ben Roethlisberger? But the #1 topic tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown will be the Pirates, who get swept at home by the Dodgers. And after 7-4 on the road, they go 1-5 at home. Their injury problems continue to get worse and worse. And here to talk about all these issues with you is your panel. Left to right, we have Jeff Hathhorn, the sports director at 93.7 The Fan. In Green Tree, we have Ron Cook, outstanding columnist with the Post-Gazette and part of the Cook and Joe show every day from 10 to 2 on The Fan. And Mr. Tim Benz from Trib Live, as well as Steelers Radio Network. So let's get right into this here, gentlemen. And the Pirates, every day it seems like they're at least one roster move followed by some bad pitching. Many ways to go here. I want to start, though, with today's game because, you know, they had lost 2 in a row. They were down 4-3 in the 6th inning with the Dodgers batting. Still a good game. No Francisco Liriano. And Tim Benz, I'll start with you on this one. This was a head-scratcher to me because this is an all-lefty lineup the Dodgers are putting up there. He's going to face 3 prominent left-handers, and there's no lefty. And Montana DeRapo, along with Dovydas Neverauskas, pretty much ended the game right there.
Yeah, and they keep talking about how they're looking ahead to tomorrow, and tomorrow being a doubleheader. I understand that, but I think they're prioritizing it too much. And I wonder if something's going on with Liriano in the sense that they're trying to treat him like he needs to be in bubble wrap. It's been, what, since the 23rd now that he's pitched. And point of view, I think they're babying him too much. I know Huntington talked about that on the pregame show. He was asked about it today on your guys' station, Ron and Jeff. And I'm of the school of thought that I understand they're happy with what he's done in a 1 inning and a time role, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and they're not necessarily of the school of thought that they want to bring up Mitch Keller, but they're doing it. And I also think they need to start stretching out Liriano, too. If not, to put him in as an opener to at least maybe get him to the point where they can get 2 innings out of him, maybe 3, not just 1 all the time.
Well, I think they saw some stuff in spring training where when he went multiple innings, the struggles really escalated. And they're thinking, hey, we've got a great thing here with a 1-inning guy. Why do this? And I understand what you guys are saying. And as for today, they assume, listen, we're getting roasted this homestand. The Dodgers are going to beat us. Let's look ahead to trying to get a game against the Reds. We've got 2 pitchers that we don't know how long they're going to go. Let's have Liriano available to pitch then.
Well, their biggest problem isn't when they use Liriano. It's they have about 3 or 4 or 5 guys that don't belong in the major leagues. I mean, these guys just don't belong up here. And, I mean, I guess injuries have forced them into this situation. But when you throw guys out there like they do, that Dodgers lineup, which is just terrific. And I don't know that they wouldn't have hit Liriano. It's just unpleasant to watch. I mean, it's like men against boys out there today.
Well, Jeff, just to go back to your point, though, if they do that with Liriano, are they not sacrificing 2 games then for the mentality of 1? Because they're not going to pitch him twice in the same day, are they?
Well, I think what they're thinking is we can get 1 of those in Cincinnati. Even if Liriano comes out and pitches a perfect inning, we're still going to have to throw these guys in this game.
And there's still 8 other innings to get through, you know? I mean...
And to Ron's point, I think that's absolutely right.
But then you're just using Liriano as one of your best 1-inning guys once in 5 days. That doesn't feel like enough to me.
Well, that's because you're getting beat 11-2 in every game that you lose. What were they outscored in these games by the Dodgers? Yeah. How about the starters? How about Archer's start today? Well, again, just awful.
Well, I want to get into that right now since you brought it up, and Ron, we'll go to you on this one. Chris Archer trade. Again, it happens on a day where Austin Meadows goes yard number 10. He's hitting .341. He went 4 for 4 today, and that would be tolerable, I guess, if Archer had been what they wanted. Now, here's another start, and I think you're writing about this here tomorrow, but, you know, Chris Archer has got to be better. He had 105 pitches in 5 innings. What do they do with him?
Well, he's gone 8 starts this year, and in only 2 as he got as far as 6 innings. He only had the 1 good start in Washington. He left 7 innings to just 1 run. That was one of Richard Rodriguez's sabotage jobs, the back-to-back home runs. So 2 out of 8 this year. Total since he's been here, 18 starts, 12 he hasn't gone at least to the 6th inning. It's just inexcusable. The guy's making over $7 million. He's one of their highest paid players. He's not delivering. Forget about what they're doing in Tampa. If he'd be doing his job, no one would pay that much attention.
And, Ron, you brought him in to win games against teams like this. That's why you made that trade. That's why you gave up what you gave up. So you could bring in somebody that could win these types of games. And I think another point with Archer is, he had issue with fastball command. That's what he was saying after the game. I couldn't get my fastball over. That's why I had all the walks. Maybe if you wouldn't have been selfish and allowed yourself to go down to AAA, maybe you would have seen something that you could have found in a rehab start instead of rehabbing during the Pirates season. I thought that was selfish on his part.
And, Pomp, back to your point about bringing up Meadows, I know a lot of people who are defenders of the trade or trying to defend the Pirates in general have said you can't look at this deal from the perspective of what the guys are doing in Tampa. Basically, it's the Zane Smith defense. You can't say, well, Moises Alou turned out great and use that as a way to couch what Zane Smith did when he was here. But he's not Zane Smith right now. Chris Archer is not doing what Zane Smith did when he came on board. So not only are those guys playing well, and I think you can talk about that, particularly Meadows, because I was in favor of the deal until Meadows was the guy that was thrown in. But you can't just blow off the Tampa equation and say it's all about Archer when Archer's 1-5 and a 5.75.
Well, the other guy's on the disabled list and is probably going to did they just put him on the 60-day now? Glasnow? I think I heard that yesterday, right? Man. So he's out of the picture totally. I had no problem with the trade. I was glad to see him finally take a chance and do something, give up prospects. Glasnow was terrible here. Maybe he would have turned it around here, maybe not. Sometimes you need. And I had no problem trading Meadows. He got off to a fast start. He cooled off badly. They ended up sending him back down. Where did it look like you were going to play him in that outfield last year? So it all comes down to what Archer is doing for me.
The only thing that you can add to that is, lack potentially of development within this own system here. You see the guys coming up from AAA to pitch this year. No one's making a contribution at all. I want to get to this, which brings us to Jeff. I'll start with you on this one. Dallas Keuchel's name. People mention him. He's going to sign eventually here, probably in the next week. But I want to ask you why the Pirates haven't sniffed around here even more. They need available arms. And even if you don't want to sign him long term, you can make a deal for him prorated, give up a 57th pick or whatever it is. Why not do that, especially after Joe Musgrove went on the fan the other day and pretty much said he's a great guy and he'd look good in this uniform.
And they have a relationship, so you understand why that's there. But there must be something else with Dallas Keuchel because no one else is signing him, and there are a lot of teams looking for pitching. What it speaks to me is they don't want to give up prospects. Right. They're about rebuilding. They're not about giving that up, and that's why they won't do it. And the fact that they won't just totally rebuild or totally go in is why they find themselves in this situation.
And it's not only that, Jeff. All these teams don't want to give up draft choices. The way the business is going now, even the Yankees, Boston, those teams are coveting draft choices because it's younger, cheaper employment. And I get a kick out of people think if they sign Keuchel today, he'll come in and he can start one of the games in Cincinnati tomorrow. What would it be, a month before he'd pitch here? A month and a half, maybe? He hasn't pitched in a game. He's got to go through spring training and build himself up. So I have no problem. And to me, it's pretty evident nobody wants to give up a draft choice or somebody would have signed him.
Kind of a sidebar story to this is going back to what Musgrove said on your guys' station about endorsing Keuchel coming. And to me, that was an alarm bell about how bad Taillon might be, because as much as Musgrove might like Keuchel, it doesn't strike me that Musgrove would be the kind of guy to endorse somebody else coming in when that sounds like an indictment of other guys in the locker room that can't get it done. He's normally aware in that regard of saying things like that. I wonder if just subliminally, maybe they know what we don't about how bad off Taillon might be.
Well, it's going to be at least till after the All-Star break for him. I mean, we know that much. And I don't know about Trevor Williams. How soon? They keep saying, well, hopefully sooner. I don't know how soon he's going to be back.
Whatever happened to Keona Kellen, another one. There are so many guys right now. You don't know what's going on. Chisnell's down there. Haven't heard from him. Dickerson. It goes on and on. All right, we're going to talk more about other Pittsburgh sports items like Phil Kessel, like Joey Porter, like the Steelers, so hang in there. But before we do that, I want to remind you it's the beginning of another big season here in Pittsburgh. It's the summer driving season. You know about that. The unofficial start is Memorial Day, but the official start is the May Drive-Away at No. 1 Cochran, and that's well underway. Stop by now for the biggest savings of the year. Plus, you're going to get a $500 gas card when you buy or lease any new vehicle. It ends June 3rd, so hit the gas and get to No. 1 Cochran now. Visit Cochran.com for details. The No. 1 Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by No. 1 Better and by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Have a greater hand in your health.